Ton of exciting stuff going on right now in Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to go over a new promo code tied to the Alice in Wonderland. There's also a 7-day login event to get Alice the Wanderer for free. Looks like going to be an amazing arena character. A brand new epic that I think almost everybody can get that is over the top good. And also we've got the Mad Hatter Fusion event, which if you're a crazy person like me, is worth attempting. First things first, if you haven't done so already, click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get Tayrel and Rector Draft for free. You get Rector Draft after getting to level 25. Then my suggestion is to go directly in game and redeem the promo code Monkey King to get one of my best legendaries in my account, Sun Wukong. Now there is a brand new promo code tied to Alice the Wanderer. Now, the thing I'll say about this is that you can put one promo code per day. You want to use the Monkey King one first because that's only works in the first 24 hours that you have your account open. But you hit the promo code right there and you can see that I've already put the Alice in Wonderland promo code there. And it was a very good one. Lots of bonus stuff there, including an epic book. And I could use more epic books. I was able to take one of my epics a tad higher and decrease the cooldowns. Boy, just skill books both for epics and legendaries are a big deal in this game. And to get the Alice code, and I don't think it's the same for everyone, is you and I'll put a link to this. There's a portal on the website, on the Plarium website, and you can go and hit begin story. What I did is I hit skip story up here at the top, which is, look at all these great animations and storybook. But once I put in, like, I guess you can watch the whole thing. I put in my Plarium information and then a promo code came up, which I was able to hit copy and then go back in game and put this. Now, this does not work on iOS. Well, is that true? I'm using the Plarium app right here or Android. And the way that I showed is the way that you do it on Android devices and the Plarium PC app. On iPhone, you have to do it differently. On iPhone, you have to, I've done it before. You just Google Plarium or Raid promo code iOS, and then you go right to the website, the Plarium website, and then you put your Plarium ID, and then you put the promo code in, and it just goes into your account. But you can't do it directly on your iPhone iOS device, which I play the game on as well. Now, this is a big deal. So there is a bunch of great characters, you know, tied around the Alice in Wonderland. And I wanted to talk about Alice herself first, which if you log in for 7 days, get for free. Couple things. Looks like it's going to be very strong arena character and has a lot of manipulation of cooldowns, which is like an advanced version of ability block, if you will. Aura. Increase ally attack in all battles by 30%. Not a big fan of this myself. I really like the auras that increase the speed, specifically ones in arena. So this is not an aura that I'm going to use a lot. In fact, when I come across opponents in the arena and they're running, you know, an attack boost or a defense boost, those are the ones I go after first. It's all about speed, speed, speed in arena, turn-based game. Now, this is where Alice gets interesting, is that if you can get Alice going early in the match, she does a lot of truly awful things to your opponent, which I really, really like. And I can't wait to get her going fast and going early in the match. And if she can go early, her passive effect is also going to do more damage. Whenever this champion attacks, inflicts 3% more damage to each target for each turn remaining on all of their skills cooldowns. The bonus damage is counted individually for each target. Great. Then, if she gets a kill, resets the cooldown of one of the champion's skills each time they kill an enemy, occurs once per skill. I guess, I wonder if that would be useful, let's say, in Spider. Like, if you could delete a bunch of the spiders, can you just keep going and keep going AoE, AoE, I suppose? We'll have to try it, right? All right. This is what's going to be of high interest to me. Going off turn 1, attacks all enemies, 75% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 2 turns. So that is kind of a big deal. because they're not going to be able to do their A3, which I call ultimate, or their A2, which I call special. They're going to have to do their basic attacks, right? Also has a 75% chance, and these can be boosted, right? If you put the books on, right? 75% chance, excuse me, of decreasing each target's turn meter by 15%. At least one of a target skills has cooldown increased to the max, decreases their turn meter by 30% instead. So I'm thinking about using Arbiter, which I just unlocked for free the other day. Arbiter gives a 30% turn meter boost or speed boost in arena. Arbiter typically is the character that I'm going to make the fastest, put all of my speed sets, all of my speed gear right into Arbiter. Arbiter is going to go off early and give turn meter to Alice, and then Alice is going to go and knock down cooldowns and knock down turn meter. Good game, right? That's going to be a great strategy in arena. And there's 3 different arena modes and a lot of good rewards there. So Queenslayer attacks enemy will ignore 20% of the target's defense if the initial target is killed. Also attack the enemy with the lowest HP. Also ignore 20% of the target's defense. And then the basic also does some fun things. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Place an extra hit if the target has active schools on cooldown. Each chant has an 80% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. So it could essentially knock down the positive effects on their team. Well, I mean, it depends how many stacks they have, right? How many turns. So I think this is going to be a very popular character used in the arena. I will say that if you see her as a leader, I'm going to be going after that person. Now, let's talk about the epic that everybody should be getting. At a minimum, focusing on the epic, because there's a somewhat complicated, if you will, fusion event to get Mad Hatter that is centered around the Dawncaller Sabbatha. So Dawncaller Sabbatha is an epic, and this is the part that's interesting. She's an amazing epic. Like, run, don't walk, get this epic. I think she's very, very good. We're going to go over her kit next. So if you get 100 shards of her, you will be able to unlock her, right? So you can get 25 here, 25 here, 25 here. And I'm going to talk about these events because I think there's a ton of ways of min-maxing these events to get a lot of resources from the events while doing one activity at a time that is funneling into multiple events, getting an amazing epic. And if you choose, which I think is actually going to be pretty hard, to get the Mad Hatter. So let's talk about the value of the epic. She's very good. Let's go back in game. In game, we're going to go over to the portal, and then we're going to go over here. There's a couple different areas on this side, but we're going to go into the fragment summon. And then you'll see right here is Sabbatha, right? Sabbatha is an epic. And I just want to pull up her kit because I think it is very... Epithicus kits is amazing. So kind of a standard aura. Increase ally HP in all battles by 25%. I think this character is going to be good in multiple game modes, PvE games, not arena, but like almost everywhere else has some value. Rising Fate. So this is the passive. Whenever this champion revives an ally, decrease the cooldown of one of this champion's skills by 1 turn. Now there's 2 of them here, and one of them is a buff for the team, and the other one is a revive, but it's not your normal revive. Revives an ally with 25% HP, 100% turn meter, fine. Also places a block damage buff on that ally for 2 turns. Block damage is where they just don't take any damage at all. There's nothing worse than reviving someone on your team and then watching them immediately die. Well, that's not going to happen. Specifically, I was thinking about making this character super, super tanky, right? And then reviving a reviver that revives the whole team, right? You know, I was thinking, like, what if you could revive Ursula, and then Ursula has that team revive and gives all those buffs to all the team. I mean, that's just a great way to like reset, you know, like in Chimera or the Demon Lord. I just think this is absolutely over the top amazing. Gonna require some books. Those epic books are important, right? Starts off at 6, can be knocked down to 4. Then we've got some amazing buff support mechanics right here. Increase defense, increase attack, places a 60% increased defense buff and a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then right here we have a way of healing when she attacks, right? Heals the allies with lowest HP by 10% of this champion's max health. So making this character fast is good. Making this character tanky so that she survives and that she can heal up a teammate. Also not needed is accuracy. So you don't have to worry about accuracy with her because there's no negative effects. There's no debuffs. I just think this is big because some of the characters, some of the support characters also place negative effects. And then I have to focus on accuracy instead of, you know, maximizing my artifacts around speed or let's say HP. You know, when you have to kind of get stretched thin, worried about speed, HP, and defense and accuracy. I guess you could do defense on this as well. But this is going to be amazing support. Now, if you want to be a crazy person like me, there's a chance of getting 4 of them over this schedule of January 8th to 23rd. We're already in the middle of it right here. And then you can get Mad Hatter. I think everybody run, don't walk, get as many copies of Sabbatha as possible and upgrade her and use her, right? And then, like me, crazy person, I don't know if I'm a crazy person. This is just the first fusion event I'm going to attempt. And the reason why I don't have a problem doing this and trying to get this done is even if I don't get Mad Hatter, I'm still going to get Amazing Epic. And so I'm okay with, you know, flushing all the resources that I've been saving and because I need to upgrade my account anyways to try to do this. And this actually gives me a lot to do. It's towards, you know, the middle of the month right here through the 8th to 23rd. Now, Mad Hatter looks to be very, very good as well. We're going to go back to the summoning portal. Then there's a fusion right here. Mad Hatter. See if I take 4 5-star, pink 5-star, level 50 Sabbathas. You can fuse them into Mad Hatter, who looks to be over the top good, specifically in Hydra and Spider is what I'm thinking. Accuracy buff for Aura. This passive is very interesting to me. Every 10 turns, taking my ally, passively heal the allies by 20% of their max HP. Then, every 6 turns, taking my enemies, place a True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. True Fear is a very interesting mechanic. And if you have fear on one of your characters, there's going to be a 50% that they just don't take a turn. 50% chance. And then there's fear and True Fear. If you use your ultimate, your A3 with the True Fear, and it misses on that 50% chance, then the cooldowns also get nuked. So this is going to be amazing against spiders. I think this is also going to be very, it seems like a very, very strong mechanic. This True Fear and Fear mechanic is very good. Also, right here, Hex and Weaken. Hex and Weaken is also going to be very useful, specifically in Hydra and also in, let's say, Spider, right? Hex right here. 75% chance placing Hex debuff and 25% Weaken debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, and that can be boosted. The ally with the highest crit damage will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill. The damage dealt by the ally joining the attack will increase by 10% per each debuff on the target. So, a couple things. Hex is when you place Hex on a bunch of characters, then they all kind of take damage as a smaller percentage. Like if you hit 1, the Hex characters also take a small amount of damage. So you'll see the damage numbers go through the roof. Again, super helpful when you have multiple enemies out on the board, like Spider or Hydra, right? Weaken. They just take more damage. So a character who has the negative effect of Weaken takes more damage. So that is very good. Now, as far as the one that you, so this is attack all enemies, but the one that you target will get an assist, right? And there you can tweak the crit damage on your characters and you could ramp up the quick damage. And there's all kinds of, their default skill was going to be the basic, could be super interesting. All kinds of basic effects that you could synergize with Mad Hatter. I could think of like 10 good ones that will work well, where you're going to get that assist, and then that assist is going to have a bonus effect, whether it's block revive or add weaken or add a bleed or like a small chance of a stun on characters that can be stunned. Oof, 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 oof. And wait! There's also more right here. Whiff of Madness. Increase the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Decrease the duration of all debuffs on all allies by 1 turn. Also fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. This is going to speed up the team, increase the positive effects, decrease the, and then also lower the positive effects on the opponent. Again, specifically, I think this is going to be good in Hydra for sure. Then we get the basic. Attack enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing a random buff. Each hit also has a 75% chance of applying a debuff spread effect, taking 1 debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies under a hex debuff. Damage based on HP. Yes, please. Again, I think this is going to be very good. Now, are we going to get him through this events? So this is the good thing about Raid Shadow Legends that I really, really like. If you're a player who is smart, there are tons of opportunity to min-max this game. This is a min-maxer, free-to-play player's dream. Save resources, try to figure out how to do it. I think this is going to be insanely hard, and I'm sure the best free-to-play hoarders out there will be able to finish this. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. Like I said, even if I'm not, we're still going to get this amazing epic, right? Now, what I'm noticing is that, which also makes me just, my brain go, like, get so excited, is that the overlap of these events and performing one activity fuels multiple events. So, for example, I've already finished the Fire Knight tournament and the Artifact Enhancement event. The Fire Knight tournament, I'm getting artifacts, which is fueling the Dungeon Diver event, right? Fire Knight tournament is giving me artifacts. Some of them I can't use, and I'm selling because I need silver to go through the Artifact Enhancement event. Now, it took a lot of silver to get the shards on Dawncaller Sabbatha. I don't know how many millions, but I think it was a number about 15 million. But a lot of that came from selling off artifacts that I wasn't going to be able to use from the Fire Knife tournament, which was also giving me points to the Dungeon Divers. Now, I wasn't able to do that activity to work the champion training event, but I'm sure there's players out there that can go through the Fire Knight and give experience. I don't know how. I don't know what character could do that. But then you could be doing one activity and getting points for all 4 events. Yeah. Then we got the Champion Chase tournament, which is acquiring champions, which, you know, if I'm going through 12-3, I'm going to be getting champions by the, you know, randomly you get a 3-star sometimes. That's going to give me points for that. I'm going to get artifacts that I could sell off, and that also goes towards the Dungeon Divers, and then get silver for the artifacts. And I'm also training my champions. So, like, there's ways of, you know, running one dungeon or one campaign node, and it's fueling multiple events. And like I said, it's just a matter of going through it and seeing if I can get it done. Now, will I be able to get to 400? Because I need 400 of these fragments to get 4 of them, and then I have to fuse them to upgrade them and fuse them together to get Mad Hatter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Champion Chase, you know, there's a Sacred Shard double legendary boost right now, and maybe that'll be the way that I do it, is with that, you know, and maybe I'll have to spend money opening shards to get through the Champion Chase tournament, the champion, what have they got? They got, I think there's a couple in here that are around shard opening. Summon Rush and Champion Chase. And if I had done this type of event before, I would know which of the 2 I could skip, or I could know which of the 2 are going to be the hardest or the most depleting of the resources they save. And now, knowing that they run these fusion events every so often, in between fusion events, I could be storing and saving the resources that could be helpful to here. So I'm kind of going into this blind, But I think this is just like the next level of me having fun here in Raid Shadow Legends. Really enthusiastic about this. And again, big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. If you've not done so already, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen and get Tayrel and Rector Drath once you get to level 25. I've been having a blast playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I hope you do too. Bye for now.